Good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ed Bloodsworth with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. We continue to track Tropical Storm Idalia on the verge of becoming a hurricane. It has now cleared Cuba and is now working into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. As of the 10 p.m. advisory, maximum winds of 70 miles per hour, but it is looking quite healthy tonight. Hurricane warnings are in effect for the west coast of Florida from Sarasota north past the Big Bend all the way to Apalachicola, Florida, where the hurricane watch included for Tallahassee and tropical storm warnings included for Orlando, Jacksonville as well. This will be a pretty far-reaching storm once it makes landfall. So Idalia is expected to move north, still forecasting a Category 3 major hurricane at landfall sometime Wednesday morning. From there, it'll continue on a pretty quick pace through southern Georgia and perhaps into the Carolinas as well, bringing surge and wind and rain impacts the entire way. From there, it'll weaken as it rolls towards Bermuda. It'll slow down as well, likely maintaining itself as a tropical storm through the weekend. So, bottom line impacts for our neck of the woods. We will see our seas building along the Alabama and northwest Florida coast to around 6 to 8 feet, perhaps a little bit higher in some areas. We will also see an enhanced threat of rip currents. Red flags likely going to fly through the rest of the week, as we'll be noting that. Make sure you stay out of the water. Also, a very small risk of some minor coastal flooding as we're going to experience increased wave activity, increased tide activity thanks to Idalia and a supermoon coming up on Wednesday. So some minor coastal flooding is possible, not entirely certain about that, but we'll be watching that certainly. We also have a very impressive Hurricane Franklin in the Atlantic, Category 4, 150 mile per hour sustained winds. This storm is kicking up the surf and enhancing the rip current threat on the eastern seaboard of the U.S., but this storm is headed north and eventually north and east into the colder waters of the North Atlantic. So the only threats will be to the shipping channels there. It will come close to Bermuda, bring some strong gusty winds and some rain bands moving through. But again, this will likely be an issue more for the North Atlantic. So bottom line, we'll continue to stay on top of Idalia as it approaches land. I'm expected to make a landfall again on Wednesday.